It was almost midnight of November 9, 1938, when Standartenführer Kühling of the SA Kronenberg entered the Huntsman's Rest at the corner of Frankfurter Platz and the Mauerweg and said, "The synagogue will be burned tonight." As the scene was reconstructed by principals and witnesses 15 years afterward, there were present in the public room of the inn 20 or 25 uniformed members of the SA Reserve Troop, composed of men over 50, and 5 or 10 members of other SA troops who had dropped in. There were no other customers, and the innkeeper testified in 1948 that he was in and out of the public room that evening and did not hear any of the conversation or remember who was present. After Kühling spoke, Sturmführer Schwenker turned to the men in the public room and said, "You heard what the Standartenführer said. Those who want to help, come into the private room with me." The Standartenführer said, "I'll be back," and left the inn. About half the men present, according to the testimony, followed Schwenker into the private room and closed the door. Schwenker reopened the door from within, said, "No more drinking," and closed it again. Those who were left in the public room sat saying nothing for a few moments and then began talking in low tones. They testified afterward that they could hear the talk but not the words from the other room. 20 minutes later, the Standartenführer re-entered the Huntsman's Rest. The dozen or so men left in the public room were eating buttered bread and drinking coffee, playing skat, reading the paper, or just sitting there. They got to their feet and said, "Heil Hit, they still in there?" said the Standartenführer. "Yes, Herr Standartenführer." The Standartenführer opened the door to the private room and the talk inside stopped. The dozen or so men within got to their feet and said, "Heil Hit, jetzt mal, los, los, let's get going, said the Standartenführer, standing in the doorway. "You, Sturmführer." "Yes, Herr Standartenführer," said Schwenker. "I thought I would send 2 men to reconnoiter." "You be one of them, Sturmführer." "Yes, Herr Standartenführer." "Here, Kramer, come with me. The rest of you remain where you are until you get orders." "I'll be back," said the Standartenführer, leaving again. Schwenker and Kramer walked west on the Mauerweg. Half a block down, in front of the Café Schurchart, they stopped and stood in the entrance of the darkened café. Kramer looked up and down the street. "No police?" he said. "Not a sign," said Schwenker. They crossed the street to the synagogue, pushed open the iron fence gate and went around the building, trying the side and back doors. The furnace room door was unlocked, and they went in.